Primary election day. More of our in-depth team coverage to come. These stories more in the next 15 minutes. Right now it is 10:45. Stuck in traffic. We're here to help you. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the fives. And this update sponsored by Family Dollar. Here is Tom Tran.
All right, we've got an update about this signaler down in Long Beach. And it is not good information. Northbound side of the 405 in Cherry. That signaler will be in place until 1:30. We've got the Cherry on and off ramps closed because of the car that went over the side. You can see slowing on that 405 northbound on and off from just about Bellflower Boulevard up towards Cherry. Again, the on and off ramps at Cherry shut down until 1:30 because of this accident. Westbound side of the 91 in Paramount, we're going to crash off to the right shoulder. Emergency crews blocking the right lane. The slowing on that West 91 starts way back near Carmenita. It's going to stay busy all the way over towards Paramount. The eastbound side slows at the 710. If you want to exit off the westbound 91 to use Artesia Boulevard going westbound, save yourself a good chunk of time. Northbound side of PCH from the third tunnel to Chautauqua, the right lane closed for mudslide removal. That's what's causing that problem out of Santa Monica. Northbound side of the 405 at Sunset Boulevard, we've got the injury crash blocking the right lane. The slowing starts at Santa Monica Boulevard. Shop smart with your tax refund. Check your Family Dollar app for our smart coupons for $5 off 25, $10 off 50, or 20 off your $75 total purchase. Sign up for smart coupons today and shop smart at Family Dollar. Your next report, 10:55. More traffic reports more often. Tom Tran, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Warm temperatures and gusty offshore winds are on tap for this Tuesday. Expect 80s for many of our inland spots today, as well as gusty offshore winds. We do have high wind warnings and wind advisories in place for much of our area through noon today. As we head towards the weekend, though, another storm system could arrive, bringing us some light rain, but a more significant storm system could arrive by the middle of next week and bring us some more significant rainfall. With Southern California's most accurate and dependable forecast, I'm CBS 2's Olga Ospina for KNX 1070 News Radio.
Temperatures right now, hot, we're at 65 degrees. We've got 71 in the Valley, Burbank. Currently it is 72 degrees, fair skies, downtown Los Angeles at the Civic Center at 10:47. The Justice Department taking aim at people who try to defraud senior citizens. 400 people have been charged collectively. They're accused of bilking seniors out of more than $1 billion in the past year. Attorney General Bill Barr says many scammers target their victims with robocalls.
Just last month, for example, the government filed landmark civil actions for temporary restraining orders against 5 companies and 3 individuals allegedly responsible for carrying out hundreds of millions of fraudulent robocalls.
Barr says in 1 week alone, 13 million robocalls were placed in Florida alone. 2 South Pasadena police officers who shot an actress to death inside her home will not be facing any criminal charges. The DA's office says that's because they had a reasonable fear that their own lives were in danger. When Vanessa Marquez pointed what looked like a real gun at them, it turned out to be a replica.
Wow, that's crazy. Babae show. Huh? That's deep.
Vanessa, no gun, okay?
Marquez is lacking credentials included appearances on ER and several other TV series, but she hadn't acted for several years, and the officers found her in what was really a pack rat conditions at her home when they went to check on her at the request of a friend. The fallout from the reports that sheriff's deputies took graphic photos of the crash scene where Kobe Bryant and 8 other people died continues. The LA sheriff is now proposing changes over how deputies can use personal cell phones on the job.
LA Sheriff Alex Villanueva confirmed when he learned of the nature of the photos that had been taken, the 5 full-time and 3 reserve deputies were identified and were given orders by him to delete the photos from their phones. Villanueva said there should have been only 2 agencies photographing the scene that day.
The NTSB, who were in charge of the accident investigation, and the coroner's office.
The sheriff says in the future, policies will be tightened to restrict deputies' use of cell phone cameras at scenes for non-official purposes.
We're going to do everything within our power to make sure no one has to suffer through, 1, the tragedy of losing a loved one, and then 2nd, thinking that it could be possibly exploited or being posted on the internet.
Villanueva is also pushing for legislation making it illegal for first responders to photograph human remains as a further way to prevent financial exploitation by those who are officially in high-profile scenes or incidents. Pete Demetrio, KNX 1070 News Radio.
More than 1,000 homeless people died from sudden, violent, or unusual causes in Los Angeles County last year, which was twice as many as just 6 years earlier. That's been the grim findings by USC researchers who looked at figures compiled by the county coroner's office. The causes of those deaths included murder, drug overdose,
Good morning. Well, we got another wild ride for you to tell you about here this morning. We got off to a lower start after the group of 7 countries had a big teleconference today, opting not to give the global economy new stimulus to deal with the coronavirus outbreak. That came in a bit disappointing. Then suddenly the Federal Reserve announced a half-point rate cut. Surprise, a half-point cut to their benchmark short-term interest rate. We saw the market move higher, but now lower again. The Dow is down 761 points. Nasdaq down 253, and the S&P 500 down 80. It's been a volatile couple of weeks for the markets. Yesterday we saw a big move on the upside, a gain of nearly 1,300 points for the Dow Jones Industrial Average at the close. That 5% jump was the biggest one-day jump ever, point-wise, for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And this, of course, following last week's losses, biggest weekly loss since the financial crisis. Today, the Fed taking the extraordinary move to cut interest rates ahead of their scheduled meeting. First time we've seen something like this since the financial crisis. But the world is reacting to the coronavirus impact. Many more conferences have been delayed or canceled, and including some here in Southern California. The travel industry especially being hit by coronavirus concerns. Oil reacting now a bit higher, up 29 cents or 47 and change after getting hammered lately. Gold also on the rebound after a recent slide of $47 back to $1,641 an ounce. The Dow right now down 730. We check them only 20.50 each hour.
Grabe pala yung dinaanan natin, look.
Stick around, this is interesting. The history of Hollywood being preserved through childhood memories. We'll explain in less than 90 seconds. It's 10:51. The coronavirus crisis.
Doctors don't know what to look for.
The impact is being felt on Wall Street.
We're down nearly 1,000 points
In Southern California, the county has already declared a state of emergency, and around the world.
We may cut additional jumpers off like we've had to do with
For in-depth team coverage of the coronavirus crisis from Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station, KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us.
When searching for kitchen remodeling, search the Kitchen Store, Culver City.
I was 16, a budding athlete. Father Mike took notice. He said, let's start a youth group, handed me a beer, complimented my physique, and told me I was a leader. But he pretended to be concerned about my health and had to examine me. In 1980, nobody spoke of these situations. Today, that's not the case. I'm attorney Paul Barr. New laws in California extend the time period survivors of childhood sexual abuse can seek justice. It's important to call now. Predators hide behind big religious or educational institutions. And Kelleher v. Robertus and Waxman is ready to hold them accountable. The clergy, school districts, hospitals. Were you abused? Now is the time to file a lawsuit, regardless of the time elapsed. I was a victim. I know what it's like. A lawyer at Gallagher v. Robertus and Waxman will take your call between 8 a.m. and midnight every day. 1-877-8-ABUSED. That's 1-877-8-ABUSED. 1-877-8-ABUSED. It's time for justice.
10:53, preserving Hollywood history, something very popular in this area, and one guy does it through toys.
He's known as the Toy Scout. Joel McGee is one of the biggest toy collectors and dealers in the country, and blockbuster Marvel films are driving the market.
Crazy things right now are comic books, superhero comic books, almost like an explosion. 2 days ago, I gave a guy $37,000 for his comic books, if you can imagine that. He saved them since he was a child. He had Superman, it had early Batman. The big kicker was Captain America #1. Unfortunately, it was in very poor condition, and he got $30,000 for that comic alone.
The Marvel and DC franchises have rekindled the interesting collectible comic books, which had waned before Marvel Studios came into existence. And today, the buzz continues to find the next G.I. Joe or Star Wars toy. Bob Grill, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Freeway check coming up. Paramount, the 91 West and Paramount Boulevard still got that crash blocking the right lane. We'll get to that in just a minute. First, 10:54, Lakers, Clippers need to focus on tonight and not this weekend. Here's Randy Cardone.
Well, both the Lakers and Clippers in action tonight. Lakers hosting Philadelphia. The Clippers are in Oklahoma City, but many basketball fans just looking ahead casually to Sunday. If you haven't taken a look, that's when the Clippers and Lakers do battle for the third time this season. Clippers have taken the first 2 games of that series. Of course, we'll have important games before now and then. After tonight, Lakers will then face the best team in the NBA, Milwaukee Bucks, on Friday, while the Clippers will be at Houston Thursday before Sunday's Big Bash. By the way, it is a Clippers home game. During his 14 seasons as quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Romo made about $127 million. What do you
guys for a 10-year contract to be the basically the analyst right there for CBS during the broadcast, the big one. The deal was for 10 years, $180 million. Now everybody wants to be a sportscaster. Oh wait, you don't already? From the Rush Tax 855 IRS call sports desk. We're introduced KNX 1070 News Radio.
Voting centers and polls open across Southern California today as people cast their primary election ballots. More of our in-depth team coverage of Super Tuesday coming up top of the hour at 11. Right now it
Finally reached the
55. Your traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5. Here's Tom Tran.
Westbound side of the 91 seeing severe delays because of an earlier crash at Paramount Boulevard. The vehicles are off to the right shoulder, but emergency crews have the right lane blocked and the backup starts back at Carmenita. If you're going westbound, you may be best served to exit off the freeway. Use Artesia Boulevard going west. If you have to get back on the 91, I say do so at Paramount and put you just on the other side.
Remember this?
Eastbound side of the 91.
Huh?
Not seeing too much of a delay because of that. New signal down in Orange County. The northbound Long Beach at Orange County. Northbound 405 at Cherry. The Cherry on and off ramps are closed. Cars went over the side. Unfortunately, this is going to be the case until 1:30. The 405 is going to see a little bit of slowing starting back at Bellflower. Over on the 605 south.
You can use that one right there, man.
Transition to the 5 going northbound. Got intermittent.
Go ahead, Dad.
Road works at 3 o'clock.
Come on.
No, I don't need it.
Huwag ka nang umupo, Beb. Malinis yan. Wala kasing...
I don't need it.
Your next report.
Huh?
11:05. More traffic reports more often. Tom Fran, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Sunny, windy. We've got that wind advisory in effect for another hour until noon today. That's when it's set to expire. Highs to the upper 70s. Beaches.